So, what if Tesla is secretly getting ready for a massive robotaxi rollout? I mean, something way bigger and faster than anyone's expecting. You've got a mysterious shipment, whole fleets of new cars just popping up overnight, and a huge regulatory move about to happen. It all points to a big yes. Let's connect these dots.
Okay, it all kicks off right here. This thing, a full-sized vehicle totally wrapped up and crated, was just spotted at Giga Texas. The second these photos hit the internet, boom, a total firestorm of speculation. So the big question is, what is Tesla hiding in this box? Here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with that Giga Texas mystery. Then we'll zoom out and look at the signs, and they are clear signs of a mass rollout that's already happening. We'll unpack the all-at-once logic, see what's going on with a huge approval in Europe, and then tie it all together to see why the next 3 months could be an absolute game changer for Tesla. All right, let's dive right into those photos that got everyone talking. I mean, this isn't your average Amazon delivery. It's a full-sized vehicle, all hush-hush, shipped right to the heart of Tesla's mothership. You can just imagine the online debate that kicked off. So, theory number one was pretty straightforward. A lot of people, like James' Invest answer, figured, hey, it's probably just the larger 7-seater version of the Model Y, maybe getting prepped for the US. It's a logical guess, for sure. But not everyone was convinced.
Right, because then you had others, like Tony C., the accountant, who were looking closer and saying, wait a minute. They started comparing the photos, and the proportions just seemed off. Specifically, that rear end looked way too high. They were sure this had to be something else entirely.
But you know, the most convincing theory actually came from looking at the crate itself. People noticed markings that suggest it was shipped all the way from China. That led to this idea. It's not a finished car at all, but a body shell. It's basically a perfect reference model from the Shanghai factory, sent to Texas just to make sure the US production line is calibrated down to the millimeter. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. While the entire internet was playing detective with this one crate, a much, much bigger story was unfolding right out in the open. And it suggests Tesla isn't just planning a new car, but a whole new service on a massive scale. All of a sudden, these fleets of Teslas started materializing in 4 new cities. And listen, these are not just random cars. They're Model Ys, and they've got rear camera washers, a dead giveaway for autonomous driving, and they all have California manufacturer plates. Come on, that's no coincidence. This looks exactly like a deliberate staging operation. And at the exact same time, the unofficial Robotaxi tracker that people follow just jumped to over 519 active vehicles. You gotta remember, that number is almost certainly an undercount. The real fleet is probably even bigger. Think about how fast that is. The fleet grew by almost 9% in a single week. We're not talking about a gradual test here. This is rapid, intentional acceleration. And then, the cherry on top. Tesla's own chief designer, the legendary Franz von Holzhausen, was spotted just being driven around LA in what people are calling a Cybercab. I mean, when the top execs start using the service out in public, that's a huge signal that things are getting very, very close to prime time. So this just raises a huge question, right? Why get 4 cities ready all at the same time? Normally, in tech, you do a slow rollout, one city, then the next. So what is the logic behind this huge parallel deployment? Well, the strategy seems to be perfect it, then scale it. Tesla's been using their home turf in California and Texas to get the entire system totally dialed in. Once it's mature and they've solved all the weird edge cases, the plan is to just cut and paste that proven model into a bunch of new cities all at once. Now, let's be clear. This doesn't mean on day one, a switch gets flipped and every car is suddenly driverless. Not at all. The rollout is going to start with human supervisors in the cars. Then, as the system gets more and more experience in each city, that percentage of fully unsupervised cars will just grow over time. It's more like a dimmer dial than a hard on-off switch. And why these 4 cities? Orlando, Vegas, Dallas, and Phoenix. What do they all have in common? Clear, dry, sunny weather. By launching in these places as we head into summer, Tesla gets to minimize all the tricky variables, like rain or snow. It just makes the initial phase of operations way, way simpler. And you know, this isn't just a story happening in the US. While all of this is going on, there's an equally massive development taking shape on the other side of the Atlantic. Over in the Netherlands, Tesla has just handed in all its final paperwork for full self-driving approval. Okay, there was a slight delay, but the new date everyone's watching is April 10th. And here's the kicker. Once one country in the EU gives the green light, it basically creates a pathway for the rest of Europe to follow suit. This is a huge deal.
And Tesla isn't messing around here. They back their application with a staggering 1.6 billion kilometers of testing data. That's kilometers, not miles. And it's all data collected on European Union roads. It just goes to show how seriously they've prepared to meet those super tough regulations.
So let's put it all together. You have the mystery vehicle, the four-city Robotaxi setup, and a major FSD approval in Europe that looks like it's right around the corner. All signs are pointing to the next 3 months being an absolutely consequential, maybe even historic period for the company.
This also brings up the comparison to competitors like Waymo, and it's why you can't really compare them directly. It's misleading. As a lot of analysts point out, they're just playing two completely different games. Waymo's been at this for over a decade. Tesla's public rollout is barely 9 months old. But the real difference is scale. Their whole approach to cost and volume is fundamentally different. Tesla was designed for mass production from day one. And to put that volume difference into perspective, just let this sink in for a second. There's a projection that at some point this year, the number of Cybercabs Tesla could make in a single week might be equal to Waymo's entire fleet that took them years to build. That just shows you the potential for an exponential difference in how fast this thing can deploy. Which really brings us to the final question. With a mass robotaxi launch looking imminent, European approval on the horizon, and this totally radical approach to scale, are we watching the very beginning of the most transformative era in Tesla's history? An era that could reshape not just the company, but honestly, the future of how we all get around.